while we're here in lovely North Lauderdale, we were able to catch up with one of our men in action, Mr. George Busso. He had to create some time before he headed into his everyday about to contribute to our world. But we're so grateful that he was able to give us a little time today, and we're going to have conversations with him. Mr. George Busso, welcome to Simply MJAD.
Thank you, nice for
How are you?
I'm good,
First of all, how's the family?
Family's good.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
been a minute.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I know you've been traveling, doing a lot of things.
Yes, we've been in Haiti, we've been in Washington, we've been all over the place trying to raise awareness of child sexual abuse.
This is worldwide.
This is worldwide.
And it's needed worldwide.
Absolutely. It's a global issue, and we have to take care of it.
So we're going to get down to business.
Okay.
Okay. And the first thing I like to, one question is, can you tell us a little bit about Women in Action and, what you do there? I already know what you do there, but let our viewers know what you do.
Well, MJ, Women in Action is a nonprofit, as you already know. With a 501c3, we've been in existence for the past 7 years. We exclusively deal with children that are sexually abused. So what we've been doing here in Florida, we headquartered in Miami, and we're trying to transition in Broward. What we've been really doing is prevention. We've been doing a lot of preventive work in churches, community centers, schools, to train parents and to also train children how to protect themselves from the epidemic of child sexual abuse. We also do train the trainers, also for agencies with workers or service providers, and we have a culturally based approach to prevention of child sexual abuse.
Yeah,
that means we definitely take the culture into consideration because sexual abuse is very taboo, and then you have to take into account the culture of the person that you're trying to target. But our goal is...
So we would say various culture deal with it.
Various culture
okay.
deal with it differently. We've been really pride within the Haitian American community because anything sexual is very, very taboo in this particular community. If you don't have the cultural baggage, it can be very hard. But our goal is really to have a center where children could receive therapy for their or healing for the trauma related to child sexual abuse.
So pretty much now we're working on getting a physical building where the children can really, get the assistance in healing.
Correct.
Okay.
We did have a small office in North Miami, which we closed recently. We're transitioning, trying to have a bigger building, but the issue of funding has always been a big one when it comes to it. But we're very confident that hopefully with the support of maybe your viewers or other people, the stakeholders, we can actually have this facility where children and their family could receive treatment for their trauma.
That's amazing. What did inspire you? Me personally, I know you're a wonderful person, but they don't know that. What inspired you, George? Let them know what inspired you. Because we all have this calling. Because I know you're a psychology major, you in your little comfy job, you got out of your comfort zone. Tell us about that, that when they're calling, when it's, it's cooking in your head.
As I told everyone that I spoke to, the children, because I work as a psychotherapist for the past 10 years, and I used to work at Christie House and be the clinician there. And the children that I used to have, the majority of them used to be Haitians, and there are cases upon cases, and when they come to you and share their pain, you cannot remain unmoved. And there's a particular case of a 14-year-old who was impregnated by his 70-year-old stepdad, and this is one of the cases that really dawned on me because of the culture. The mother was not supportive, the community also was not supportive, even the church where she used to go to was not supportive. So we spent 3 months coming for therapy, and she wouldn't speak. But when she finally spoke, this one we discovered that started back home in Haiti, and she was 9 years old until she got pregnant when she was 13. So it's a very, very big issue. It's not something that we talked about. We tend to put it under the rug, and that dawned on me how many children being affected, and we said we have to do something about it. I shared that with my peers, and then we started Women in Action in 2009.
And what I want to ask you about the vision for which I think we pretty much touched is to have the Center for Children. Is that something that you want to, I know we're doing worldwide, and now we're starting in Miami. Are we going to do like from county to county until we become state to state? and then country to country, because it's that important, it's that deep.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is that deep, and this is the goal, this is the vision. We start small and build up on it, but while we are trying to establish ourselves here, we also have a branch in Haiti since we started, because after the earthquake, we had an influx of children coming from Haiti, and then a lot of them being sexually abused, and some of them were under the tent during the earthquake, and they've been raped and abused, and then we realized that the problems also is back home, and we're trying to tackle it on both ends, in Haiti and in here, to the best of our ability. We are on the radio, we're on television, we have segments on radio, and trying to raise awareness about it, have people understand how this is impacting the entire community, the country in itself. We engage the stakeholders, the policymakers, to see what can be done. So we are the only organizations really in the forefront dealing with this exclusively.
So now, anyone pretty much can help to donate. It can be personal checks, it could be even if you want to write this off, because that's, it's life. Some people need to write some things off. And people can go ahead and, who knows, have a garage sale, raise that funding and come to you guys, and, it's just, so everything is really welcome.
And everything is really welcome at this point. Anything would help, especially with our prevention program, because everything that we've been doing mostly, it's out of pocket, it's out of support from our board members and ourselves, but we reach a point where we need more hands, because the more we go out there and the more people we encounter with problems, and then the way we approach it gets people very comfortable to talk about it, to come, to reach out to us, and we know the problem is starting, we know the problem is there, but it's hard, it's heartbreaking when you encounter somebody or a family say, you know what, hey, I've been sexually abused, can you help? And then to turn the person around because you don't have funding to do it is a very, very hard thing to do.
A conversation with Mr. Bossous on sexual abuse. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
So many of us, once we come here, we lose every value. Toute valeur que nous gagnons comme ballon. Oh, tout petit monde respecte grand monde.
Jésus.
Tout grand monde, c'est grand monde, tout petit monde.
Amen.
What happened?
Welcome back to Simply MJAD, where conversation is ongoing, and we'll take a little break, and our conversation continue with Mr. George Bossous, this amazing man. And one of the things that I like to say, it's something that sexual abuse, I'm not being biased here, and I know I may get some knock for, it's not something that you see a man does, and I think that's why I'm so taken by you. It's normally us women that say, okay, it's sexual abuse, we're going to do something about it, we take a stand. But for a man, to stand, because before you were a father, you were a man, and I'm sure, how old is your daughter right now?
My son is 15.
Oh, your son, you have a son?
Yes.
15?
He's 15 years old.
Okay. So you don't even have a daughter.
Not
So
yet.
that is really unique. And also in our Haitian community, that is something that is taboo, sexual abuse. I know everywhere, a lot of times some people like to hide it, but in our community, it's really taboo. And take this from me. This is something that happened to pastors' children, teachers' children, good mommy's children, multi-millionaire fathers' home children. It happens, I'm telling you. No one, I tell you, is exempt from this. So we need to get together and do this, and not to praise George, but, what he does, because it's not about praising, but it's about the gratitude that I feel that someone take a stand, such as himself. And, I'm going to take the time right now to a little humble thing that I take for myself to create for you, for you to review.
That's a surprise.
This is it. For
thank you.
Our amazing humanitarian, and these words are surely not enough, but this is one of our gratitude, and if you can read it
Thank you.
to our viewers.
Thank you, MJ.
Which started with that 9-year-old girl.
Yeah,
I remember
I realized that. Okay,
Yeah.
on the subject of sexual abuse, George Bossous Jr. took a stand for sexual abuse, which began in a small baby step and is now worldwide with his organization, Word in Action. Joy's gig as a psychoanalyst, he became across the 9-year-old child who was abused and impregnated by her stepfather. I remember
Yeah.
that. It began under the homeland of Haiti, and they were brought to America. Well, George Bossous Jr. took a stand with little money. He left in his job and began crusade against child sexual abuse for children everywhere, which includes America, and putting the world into action. Yes, word in action is present, a voice for many, in number is growing, and one child or person at a time. I like that. In Conversation of Transformation by MJAD 2007. Thank you so much.
Yes, and we would like to tell our viewers that watching, and the book of A Conversation of Transformation is a book that I've written that supports Simply MJAD, and I go on having conversation. When these books come out, you support it. You're also supporting Mr. Bossous Foundation, which is Word and Action. He not just talk about words, he takes action. That's pretty much what it's about here. Word and action, people. And we want you guys to support us. And George, I'd like to ask you, what advice would you inspire for someone who would like to, who has an idea to assist in the world? What way they would go with that? Because you didn't know, you had a job, and you went to school, you did the thing what everybody expected of us. You were doing your thing, you were paying your bills. Hey, sexual abuse, all right, here's a couple of dollars, I hope this person is okay. But you did, tell someone out there who may be watching,
Well, there are many ways you can help. For example, you could go through organizations like ours. For example, we do have volunteer program. We have also membership program. It doesn't have to be monetary. It could be your time. It could be your competence. It could be your skills. We could use that. We have mission trips to Haiti, and as well as we have, a program here. For example, we're going to have program at Nova, FIU. We're trying to establish ourselves and also raise awareness. It could be young. It doesn't matter the age. You don't have to have a degree for that. As long as you have the passion, we train you, and we could go and put the words out. And one best way also is just also put the fundings out there, because we need funding to do the basics that we have. Get on our website, www.wordinaction.org. You could pledge your donations. We are 501c3. It's tax write-off. We definitely would welcome that. So there are tons of ways, and when we have our events, and also, I know MJ has a book coming out,
yes.
And I'm sure that she talked about some of our things that we've done. We could support that. There are many ways you could do that.
Yeah. So I'm saying for those other that's partying, and my children, this is how I've told them. I've taught them and nurtured them. We would take a week off, a weekend off. The money that we would do for pizza, we would do that. And we would do that, calculate up to 6 months, and we would take that money. If it was like $50, whatever they would have, we put that money aside, and then we give it to a cause to let them know that there's people out there, that can use that.
Yeah. So right now we have a GoFundMe campaign.
Oh, okay.
It's on our Facebook page. It's my full name, George Bossous Jr. Or you want Word in Action. You would see it, and then you could also pledge. We're trying to raise $10,000 just to do awareness throughout the country. Last year we've done 10 churches. This year already at 5 or 6. We're gonna go to schools, community centers, the access all over the place. We make sure that we prevent, but it's really rewarding because we are literally saving lives, and we have the testimony to show for it.
Okay, and this organization is not, if you know someone who's a celebrity that wants to assist, I know a lot of you are connected out there. This does affect everyone, as I said, celebrities, even people who label in power, because I've had conversations with various people. No, I will not drop any names because it's not something I do. However, I do know how real this is. It happens to men and women, little girls and little boys, So we want you to go out there and really support Word in Action, really. And I'd like to know, besides what you do, lay back. What do you do to lay back?
Wow.
I know this job is intense. It is intense.
Yes, it is. Do I have laid back? Really? Not much. We travel, but most of our travel is.
Because I've always seen you looking good in your suit today. I don't think I've ever caught you in a pair of jeans, really, just chilling.
Because we are always, most of the time we're in the work mode, because you don't ever know who you're gonna encounter.
That's
you don't know who wants to know a little bit about what you do. So we always try to we wear our hats just to any opportunity we have in the artist place. We would tell somebody, look, give life to a child. and by supporting what we do. But, I'm planning on writing a book now. This is, and this is the scoop for you because
you have an editor?
Not yet. Just the scoop for you. I started writing. Yes, I will. And I haven't put it out there. Actually, you're the first one to know about it.
Yes!
So yeah, so it's an experience that we had in, evaluating 24 young boys. They were men when we interviewed them who were sexually abused in Haiti. 24 of them, and it was a very, very daunting work, but it was very, very powerful. I've never experienced anything like that throughout my entire 10-year.
Which probably takes a lot of energy.
It took a lot because that was the very first time I evaluate boys in my own language, my mother tongue Creole.
Yeah.
So I received that differently. It wasn't the Northern, so I received it differently. I remember after evaluating those boys, 5 boys per day, I was in tears. I was bawling because I received them totally different and their work. So I want to share this with the world, that experience, and hopefully we'll be able to.
I have an idea. I don't know where this is going. I love me some Gabby Union. I like on her show, Being Mary Jane, if they can just have an episode about child abuse. Yes. I would love that. I don't know who the producers are, and bring Mr. Busso, play some sort of counselor or something. It's that important. That's what I can do, and I'm here to say it, And George, I'd like to thank you.
Nice for me to thank you,
busy, and love you always.
Thank you.
I don't want to put lipstick on you.
It's good.
I don't want to miss it, so,
It's okay.
to say anything. And we're having fun, laughter, joy is always present. However, child abuse is a very daunting, dark, something that can leave you helpless. And if you don't get the help, the requirement, the assistance that you need, life will not be as pleasant. It's a very, very bad experience. And I'm asking you out there, when you're comfortable home, wherever you can do, reach for word of action, and have a conversation with them. $50, $100, it doesn't really matter as long as you're here, and assist them. Because we want to take this worldwide, because it is a worldwide issue. It's not just a Haiti issue. It's not just a United Kingdom issue. It's not just an America issue. It is an issue everywhere. And that's something I would really love to do someday, to take my camera and have conversation with people. Just simply ask them, because I know it happens.
And if you don't mind, if I could add quickly, I want people to understand, because one of the reasons why they're avoiding talking about this issue, because it brings you down when you look into it. But if you are doing something positive about it, you should be proud and be happy. The down words is when you don't say anything, and when you're avoiding it, and when you put it under the rug. Because I promise you, once you can put the word out and let somebody know that, child sexual abuse existed, and the child is listening, saying, I'm not alone. You will literally uplift that child, and you will literally save that child's life. Because most of the time they think that they're all by themselves, the world forgotten about them, and the fact that you take your mic and you take your camera and talk about it's already positive. It's something good you should be proud of, you should be happy about, because we're doing something about it.
We're doing something. And the Creole word for this, Pale and George t-shirts, we don't have
the t-shirts.
And then how much they go for?
$10.
$10 for a t-shirt. And I'm going to get a couple for my staff here. $10. Can you imagine? That's like the price of a pizza, I think. I mean, support them. It says Pale means is to speak. Speak. Just speak up. Something has happened to you. And you, that little girl, someone has done something to you. Speak. Go to your counselor in school, okay? Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. You speak, child. You speak. You, that little boy, someone has touched you, and you know that's not the right thing to do, you speak, okay? We love you. We love you. We truly do. And until then, take care of yourselves, okay? And take care of each other. And as always, God bless. Cheers. Thank you for watching Simply MJAD.
Talk to the door.